What's up, ladies and gentlemen? ChuckfinleLP's Play Crash Bash Part 10, or I'm sorry, 11. We're here in the 5th warp room, and this is going to be a little bit different. The audio for this particular video got messed up, and so now I'm having to do like a post commentary, and so I will be talking over this in a post commentary. It won't be live commentary, so there will be things that really don't make sense. Like here, I was showing off the sapphire relics because after you get Mallet Mash, after you beat the trophy for Mallet Mash, you get the sapphire relics. I'm showing off where the sapphire relics are located here, just to the right of the gold relics on the far right of the bar. You can see there. I had brought it up just to show off where it was on the pause menu as well. But now I'm starting the gyms for Mallet Mash. I'm going to go through and do Mallet Mash, and I will do my best to try and make this somewhat enjoyable. I don't like doing post-commentary work. I usually don't do very well with it. I like to do live commentary whenever I do commentary on my videos. But anyways, you can see here, the objective is to, just like with the relics, or not the relics, the pogo games, you want to you have a set number of points and you have to beat them within the allotted time. Well, you can see here, I believe I started with 80 and everyone else started with 60, and you can see here I definitely got lucky with the gold mushroom and was able to get 14 points there. That is a good strategy, but if you notice Kong was near me, you want to make sure that you don't let the AI characters get the golden mushrooms, because if you let them get the golden mushrooms, you'll have a lot harder time losing your points. As you saw in Part 10, they can lose quite a bit of points very easily. Here, I got lucky again. They didn't seem to want to worry with the golden mushroom. Now, if Cortex had been able to get to that golden mushroom, it could have been a 20. I don't think it would have been enough time for it to have been a 20, but if it had become a 20, that would have made it a lot more difficult for me to have won. And you can see here, I run around. I was gonna say I wasn't sure if I was going to run around or someone else was going to get that or not, but thankfully I won. It's not too difficult as long as you remember, do not let the AI get any gold mushrooms whatsoever. Don't let any of them blow up, obviously, and try to go after a big bunch of mushrooms. You don't want to just go around and get mushrooms that are just by themselves, like 2. You want to try to get 3s and in big groups. Now you can see here, beware of your opponent's shockwave. What this does is if you've noticed, if you charge up with a mallet, you can kind of get a shockwave that will stun other players. Well, the AI character has that by default, and they will use it all the time, and that makes it a little bit more difficult because, as you notice there, Kong hit me and took the shockwave that I had gained from the special crate away, and that's one of the bad things about this. And that's what makes it so difficult, is the fact that you do have to worry about that, and so it makes it harder to be able to use the special crates and the special items. And a lot of time you saw there, Kong somehow got out ahead of me first. As the difficulty increases, I believe that the strengths and the weaknesses kind of even out. So the bigger characters like Kong and Rillaroo actually will swing first if they get up to you, and they will move faster. I don't think you slow down, but as you can see here, Kong, once again, I got up to the mushroom first. Clearly, I had pressed the X button first, but Kong still was faster than I was and was able to get to the mushroom first. And so I'm not sure, as I said, if that is just like a problem with the difficulty, or if there's actually a glitch that sometimes happens, that sometimes some of the AI characters can beat you to the mushrooms. I know it happens often, but more so in the relics. The other AI characters can beat you to the relics, or to the mushrooms. See here, I did have to start again because Kong got 2 gold mushrooms, and there was no way you could come back from that, especially so late in the round. You have to pay attention when the gold mushroom appears. It appears every 20 seconds, as I believe I pointed out in the trophy in part 10, except there it appeared a little bit sooner. Cortex did get it, but uh, as long as you can keep getting the mushrooms, that you won't have to worry about whether the AI characters get any golden mushrooms, especially if you can just keep getting big bunches of mushrooms. That definitely helps. And you don't want to block yourself with the mushrooms. You want to make sure that you are right beside it, but not right in front of it. So, especially if you're waiting for the mushroom to turn into a higher value mushroom, especially the gold ones. The normal ones, you can do that, but it's not that it's not that useful to wait around for a 5 mushroom when you could have went after a handful of smaller mushrooms. See here, I don't believe I'm going to win. There's just not enough time. And you can see what I did here. I went to the side of the mushroom instead of blocking the mushroom with my body, and that's one of the bad things about being the smaller characters. You can actually get lost just because of the bigger characters being around you more, and that does tend to happen from time to time, that you do get lost around the bigger characters, and that will hurt you from time to time. And you saw there what I did with the shockwave. That is definitely a great way to help. With a big bunch of mushrooms, if you can try to get 3 or more mushrooms in a single shockwave, that will definitely help. There, I got stuck on Cortex and I couldn't get to the golden mushroom. At the time, I didn't realize that I should have went around him instead of tried to fight him for it. And if you've noticed, I have been charging up the mallet swing just because I was getting frustrated at this point. And that's not actually you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't charge up the mallet swing for no reason, just because it takes longer. If you just do it normal, it's a lot faster than charging it up, because you have to hesitate for about a second and a half, and then you can swing the mallet instead of just swinging the mallet if you do it normally. So you just want to be careful and pay attention to that. See here, I'm waiting around trying to get a bigger bunch of mushrooms. I wish I could have got that one at the top that Kong had gotten, but it doesn't really matter either way. Definitely got lucky there. I don't know how Cortex didn't get to that mushroom. That it did actually surprise me at the time. I was sure Cortex should have got to that mushroom first, but thankfully, and that's why that kind of leads me to it. It may be a glitch thing. It's probably just like or not like a glitch, but a bug that sometimes happens. And Cortex did sort of rally back after I got the golden mushroom, and it was a little bit too close for comfort, but I still won, so I'm happy. So now I'm going to go after the Golden Relic now. This is going to be pretty difficult because of Coco. Because Coco's here. This is one of the medieval mayhem games, so Brio, Cortex, and Coco will be here as the arena champions. And Coco can actually get quite a lot of points very easily because she shares a lot of characteristics with Crash. She's fast. She can swing fast. Cortex is probably the fastest, though, just because he is the smallest and he runs around faster. Especially if you get a pair of speed shoes with him, he can move around really fast, and that's one of the benefits of using him in this event. If you're just doing it on like arcade or something, you definitely want to use Cortex because that would make it a lot easier. But it seems like because both Brio and Cortex have to wind up to swing. If you watch Cortex and Brio around through these events or through these rounds, you can actually see them have to almost charge up for about a tenth of a second longer than Crash and Coco does. So that makes it a lot slower, and so that while they are faster and they can move around faster, that kind of takes away their advantage swinging wise, but they can move around a lot faster. They can get to the golden mushrooms a lot faster, and so swinging speed doesn't really matter. You do have to be careful about missing. As you noticed, I did miss a normal mushroom and then just went on and let Cortex get that one. You have to be spot on, and that's one of the good things about being the smaller characters, because their mallets are smaller. Their hit range is smaller, so you don't have to be quite as accurate with the bigger people that have longer mallets. So you can actually hit the mallet past the mushrooms. Like if you get right up close to the mushroom, as you see, pretty much everyone does. They get right up on the mushroom. Uh, they You can actually miss. I know I've missed several times with Kong and Tiny both, and that's why being one of these smaller characters is a lot better for being around here. Now, if you noticed, I was at the top right of the map, where I was at the very start of the game. I had gotten a shockwave, and had attempted to get that big clump of mushrooms, and I believe I settled for just a 3. Now, you want to be careful and not waste it on that, and you can see here I did kind of waste it, but it was more to hit Coco than anything. But you don't want to waste a shockwave, especially if you get a shockwave. You don't want to waste a whole bunch of time, just running around waiting for mushrooms to appear, because especially at the later on, as the clock runs down, the less mushrooms you get, or I guess the less mushrooms that will appear. You can see there's a lot fewer mushrooms will appear than at the very start of the game. And so if you have a shockwave that early in the game, or that late in the game, you don't want to wait around for mushrooms to appear. But if you can get a big group of mushrooms together, that's the best way to use the shockwave. You don't want to waste it on a single mushroom. But as long as it's not the golden mushroom. If it's the golden mushroom, you definitely want to use it for that. That's a very good way to use it, because if Cortex if another character is going to get to the golden mushroom, but you're right in the shockwave, or in the hit range of the shockwave, that will help you out. If you wind up and slam your mallet down harder, you can actually make the shockwave go out farther. That's a great way to use it. That will help you out. That will increase your range, but you don't want to wait. Have to be careful when to use it because of the time. But anyway, so see here the rules: destroy all of your opponents. So they say swamp runners, but they're airboats. The same controls, except you have to use the R1 button to accelerate. You don't use the directional buttons or the left analog stick to move around anymore. You use the R1 button to move forward. Square fire is your main weapon. Circle to drop mines. But now you have a shield, and I will show off the shield and talk about that once we get into the event. But this is by far the hardest event to use a Crash or Coco on. And as you saw there, you can see the uses of the shield. They act just like a shield does. They block enemy bullets from hitting you. The mines are by far the strongest mines out of all of the Fox games, and you want to use them against the enemy. The enemies will not drop them; only you can. You do not. The helicopter does not come by to give you any more Wumpa Fruit or mines. So you want to think about that while you're using your mine. You want to drop them strategically, and I will explain that as we go along. I'm going to do all of the event, the gold and the gem, crystal, and gold relics. And as you can see here, you want to you don't want to have someone that is flashing hitted, but you want to try and get 2 or more people on it. That's about the best way to use it. And you can see there, I did get kind of lucky with that mine. But the bullets damage for Crash and Coco, this is by far the worst tank level for them, because if you miss, you have to wait a long time, just because this isn't a because this is the only open tank level. You don't have any of the anything to help block or bounce off of to help hurt anybody. And you can see there I kind of messed up and let Cortex win again. You want to be careful with that. You want to kind of plan where you're going to drop the mines. You just don't want to, and you'll see me do this very often. I didn't realize it until much later. You don't want to just run out there and keep dropping mines right in the middle of the thing. You don't want to be the first guy to run out there and start taking damage. You want to hang back and let the AI kill each other first, and then once you have maybe two or three people, and I ran in my own mind thinking that I would have been able to get away. We can see there they tied. That is because of the bullet damage. Cortex shouldn't have been able to kill Kong with one of his bullets, but because when you die, the bullets for the AI increase damage so that they can kill themselves easier, so you don't have to wait a long time for the AI to kill themselves. And that is a good thing. You don't want to wait a long time for the AI to kill themselves for no reason. You don't want to drag it out any longer, but that's why you can force victory, but you do have to wait a few seconds after you die to force victory, or to have the ability to force victory. And you can see there I did miss, and thankfully, because this is a trophy event, Cortex won't attack me like he would in, say, the Relic. If this was the Relic, he would be doing a lot more damage to me. You see there, miss. If you do miss with Crash or Coco, it definitely hurts, because your bullet bounces around. It's slow and it bounces around for a long time, so that just makes it very difficult to fight with. And as you can see here, I am getting lucky sometimes with the mine, but as we go on, you'll see that I don't get quite as lucky with it. You don't, if you do, take somebody out with a mine, you don't want to continuously fight with somebody. Like the mine I think went underneath Kong, or went to the very side of Kong, and didn't really hurt him all that much. And as you can see here, he's following me around with the bullet, and I missed, and that's really what hurt me there. If I hadn't missed, I could have damaged him a little bit more, but there was nothing I could do in that point. There's just the only gimmick here is that the mines hurt, but they don't go out in the their blast radius is longer, or I guess wider, than the land mines in Jungle Fox, but they don't go out in the straight lines like they do in the other tank events, and so that hurts, and especially because your damage, because you can't do any damage to these people, to the AI characters at all, and they are the ones that hurt you more often than not. And you see there the damage increased because I died. The mine took Rillaru out when it wouldn't have normally, so I had to redo this again. And by now I'm still doing the same thing. I'm kind of realizing, okay, well, maybe you shouldn't run out into the middle and start taking damage immediately. I thought the game had, the damage had decreased here, but, or not the damage, the difficulty for the AI had decreased a little bit, but I don't think so. This is when I thought, okay, well, it must be getting easier for me because I was able to win round 1, but sadly, it wouldn't get easier till a little while later. But and you can see there, no one else really shot until I got close enough to Rillaru. That is one of the most effective things about the mine. You want to make sure that you don't get caught on someone like I got caught on, I believe it was Rillaru, who I got caught on, and I wasn't able, and I just kept getting shot over and over. And that's one of the good things about Rillaru's bullets, Rillaru's and Dingo's bullets both, because their bullets will overpower the shields, just because if you get right up on somebody, you can just almost continuously fire. Like, everyone has a pretty fast fire rate, but no one has fast fire rate as much as Dingo and Rillaru. And so that's why while their bullets don't hurt at all, they can overpower the shields, unlike some of the other characters. And if you miss, it's not that important. Like, if one of the AI characters or whoever will run away from you, if you miss, you have another bullet to use, and then you can just keep firing while that first fireball is bouncing around. You can keep doing whatever you want to. And this is when I realized, okay, maybe I shouldn't run out first and be the first guy to take damage. and that's why you see me using my shield a lot more every time I get near any enemies. But I kind of realized, okay, well maybe I should let the AI kill themselves, but I didn't want to. Oh wow, yeah. Uh, I didn't want to just leave it to the AI, because you never know what may happen. And you can see there the fire rate with the bullets is not as much as Rillaroo or Dingo can do. And I you can only watch Rillaroo and Dingo, or Rillaroo shoot me, and that's how you can tell for yourself. And this is where I made the mistake of running out again, taking damage first. Thankfully, I didn't get hit by Kong. You really don't want to get hit by Kong or Tiny in this event, just because you don't have a way to heal yourself, and it will hurt. And that stinks. I knew I shouldn't hit Rillaroo again, but I was hoping that it wouldn't be too bad. You see there, Cortex took the victory. Again, because I just ran out and thinking, oh, well, the difficulties has to have been decreased a little bit. And so I can just go around, drop mines, and I ticked Kong off, and that's why he started shooting at me immediately. Sadly, and that's what really hurt me for this particular round. But the best thing you can do is just let the AI kill themselves, and don't really do anything that will jeopardize your chances of winning. You can see here I've already lost 2 rounds, and like right there, I shouldn't have moved at all. Kong wouldn't have been able to hit me. His bullets don't reach that across the arena like mine and Cortex does. Cortex, Brios, Crash, and Cocos will bounce off the other side of the arena and start to go backwards about, I think, a quarter of the way. And Kong and Cortex and Brios will go about they'll bounce off the wall and come back about 90% of the way. And you can see here I cut because I had failed, and I had said, okay, well, this will be the last time. If I fail again, I'm going to cut, and that's how when I cut, I won the trophy. The rounds were I sat back, I didn't do anything. I let Kong and Cortex kill each other first, and then me and Rillaroo went at it. He hit one of my mines. I won the first round. The second round, Cortex had come down and started to shoot at me. Then I was able to if I fought him, I dropped a mine, blew up Rillaroo, and then Cortex, it was just me, Cortex, and Kong. I won. I think I killed Cortex last, and I think Kong was the one that was last, the third round. I don't really remember. But now this is a shorter time limit, so you really can't afford to wait, and if you do miss, that really does hurt, just because the bullet increase. And this is something that I also had figured out while fighting Cortex in the second round, I believe. Maybe it was the third round I was fighting Cortex, but if you can get up to someone first and then use your shield right off the bat, you can actually help yourself out by doing that, because they won't be able to shoot right off the bat. If you can shoot and then use your shield at the same time, you'll be in a lot better position. All you have to do is just keep using your shield, and then alternating between your shield and your main weapon, and that really helps. As you can see there, I used my shield and was able to shoot first. There is a little bit of luck involved. Not every time, especially with the trophy and the gem, the AI will use their shield. So if you pull your shield up first, they shoot, they hit your shield, and then you can shoot them and kill them, or at least start the damage so that they get hit first and you don't get hit. That's a very useful thing. And of course, there's a little bit of luck involved. As I said, it's kind of random when they'll use their shield and when they won't. But it helps. It definitely does help. So here with the crystal, we have to stay away from the chasing torpedo. There will be a torpedo, as you can see there, in the very middle of the arena. We cannot hit it. If it's an instant death if we hit it. The AI characters can hit it, but they won't take any damage from it. We don't have any landmines, so you really just want to hang back, dodge the torpedo, which is very difficult, especially if it kind of pins you against the very edge of the arena, as you'll see here in a moment. But just let the AI characters do all of the damage, especially if you're a Crash or if you're anybody but Tiny or Kong. Really, you don't want to go and fight anybody. As you can see here, I almost got hit by the torpedo. You just have to make sure that you can run into the very back of the torpedo and not take any damage. And once you miss, there's no way you can fight against someone like Rillaroo, especially Rillaroo or Dingo. There's just no way. And now, if you notice, I did kind of run into the fight again, but that's because the torpedo really doesn't leave you that many options, and you don't. And as strong as Kong's bullets are, you don't want to have to fight Rillaroo or Dingo. And I keep saying Dingo because if you're a bad guy, you'll get Dingo instead of Rillaroo. And you can see there, I just barely bounced off the wall enough because the hitbox for the torpedo is actually pretty wide. You don't want to be anywhere near it. And so you want to stay away from it as much as possible. You can see there, I did kind of get caught on Rillaroo. The shield does not help you, so you see me use the shield. That was I don't know why I used it. And now that I think about it, there's no way that the shield will actually help you against the torpedo. And you can see here, just let Cortex and Rillaroo take care of them. Fight each other. Don't really do too much fighting. If you are flashing, you can stay away from the torpedo a little bit, but it won't be that much. It won't be that much, and you have to be very careful because not every time you can ensure that you will make it. It's very difficult because you have to let me think. You have to be very, because like I said, the hitbox was very wide, and you have to be very careful while flashing on it, because while you're still flashing, you still take damage, and you just have to be very lucky or time it just right. But if you notice here with the crystal, I got really lucky because Cortex and Rillaroo decided to attack each other instead of me. If they had went after me instead of each other, there would have been no way I could have won. So a little bit of luck involved there, but I'm still glad I won. So here, you still want to stay away from it's pretty much the same people that we fought during the trophy and then in the gym and the crystal, except Kong's or not Tiny's bullets hurt worse, so you want to be careful. You just let the mine do most of the work, especially if you have Tiny left, and if he hits me once, I believe that will kill me. So what you want to do is you just want to let him hit the mine. If you lay one down, try to lay one in his path. You can only lay one mine down at a time, so that does hurt. Especially if no one hits the mine for quite a while, that will hurt your chances of winning. And you see here, I'm running out of time, so I just need to go ahead and try to fight him. I kind of missed it with the shield. I thought he would have turned around and shot at me. And that's where that luck involved is. You can't be certain that you'll hit every time, but you just you kind of have to do what you can. You see here, Rillaroo's shooting me. That's not what you want to do. You want to immediately you want to lay a mine down in the middle of the arena and then go and attack Cortex immediately. Let Rillaroo and Tiny shoot each other, and then just go after whoever else you can. Cortex's bullets do shoot faster than yours, but and they hurt worse than yours does as well. But you shouldn't really have to worry about it. It's not like going after Rillaroo or Dingo. Bullet speed wise, anyway. Okay, so anyway, the stuff that I was doing before really isn't helping me all that much. So I just decided to not lay any mines down, and then just see what I could do. You don't have to worry about Tiny's bullets. His won't reach me as long as you stay. As I said, his bullets doesn't have the range that yours does. And now you can see here, Tiny does not have any damage whatsoever. Thankfully, he got hit by that mine, and there you go. That's that luck thing. Like, I used the shield first. He didn't use his shield. If he had used his shield, I would have been in a bad spot, and I wouldn't have won. But you just do what you can. And so thankfully, I messed up and went out into the middle of the arena again. And thankfully, Ruler had got taken damage. And now, once you lay a mine down, you just want to stay away from all of the fighting and hope no one wants to mess with you. And hopefully you let Tiny or whoever you're fighting against miss a whole bunch. And don't worry about anything. And then just run. Just keep running, keep dodging, keep using your shield whenever whenever you think a bullet's going to hit you. You can't keep using, I think it's about 1.5 seconds to maybe 2 seconds between using the shield and between shield usages. So you do have to be careful, and I got lucky there again. If Tiny had turned around and started shooting at me, I wouldn't have been able to win. If Tiny hadn't killed Cortex, I probably wouldn't have been able to win. I think I might have been able to take Cortex, but I don't know for sure, and that's the bad thing. But anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and end the video here because Keg Kaboom and Dante's Dash are going to take me a while, so I'm going to go ahead and talk about the trivia associated with the levels. Here I'm thinking about doing Keg Kaboom, explaining why I'm not going to do Keg Kaboom, and then I talk about the trivia for the Swamp Fox, and then I realized, oh well, I didn't actually do 2 levels, I only did 1, or 3 levels, I only did 1. I was kind of explaining why I decided to go ahead and end the video where I did. But I'm going to go ahead and talk about Swamp Fox now. Let me see if I can. So Swamp Fox is the 26th arena in Crash Bash. It's the final Tank Warlords level, and it can be unlocked by obtaining 23 crystals. In this level, the characters use airboats instead of tanks. The characters can release a max of 3 mines. They do strong damage to opponents. Unlike the other tank levels, you can use shields. There aren't any Wumpa Fruit around, and players move around freely in the entire arena. Trivia: the minigame name comes from the nickname given to Francis Marion during the Battle of Charleston. Alright, so as I said, I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. Next time I will complete Keg Kaboom, and I will do Dante's Dash. So the challenge of the video is how many points did I gain from the how many times did I shoot Cortex in all of the Gold Relic rounds of the for Swamp Fox? All the Gold Relic rounds. How many times did I shoot Cortex? Thanks for watching. Next time, as I said, I will complete Keg Kaboom all the way, and then I will do Dante's Dashes, where I'm realizing that I only did Mallet Mash and Swamp Fox, and then I was thinking, oh well, maybe I should do Keg Kaboom, but as I said, I'm not going to, because of the difficulties with Keg Kaboom and Dante's Dash, the crystals for both,